Hello everyone, this is Very Mellow Man welcoming you back to Let's Play Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. In our last video, we took care of two more bosses, the Flexile Sentry and the Ruined Sentinels. Sorry, I have a bit of an issue remembering the names. Yeah, the Ruined Sentinels were tough, even with summons. Or rather, with NPC summons. So, I decided to do them solo. And let me say, it paid off spectacularly. But right now, what we're about to do is... Oh, crap! Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. I did not know you showed up down here. I did not know that. Well, okay. If I'm gonna be fighting the Pursuer again, I'm gonna get some very special gear. Since I meant to do this anyway, but I had forgotten about it. Because I want to show off this Hexer set to you guys, but the build we're running is gonna be very point intensive. So we need all the levels we can get. And the best way to get levels is to increase the amount of souls we can earn. Yeah. Now, each piece of the Seldora outfit increases the number of souls you gain from pretty much all your sources. And it stacks with the Cavetia Silver Serpent Ring +1. So, needless to say, I expect us to get a lot of souls while wearing this outfit. Oh, one last thing there. You'll notice that I have 21 Dark Orb, even though I took off the Hexer Hood. Now see, what the Hexer Hood does is increase the number of casts for each spell you have allotted, as well as giving you a slight bonus to both your HP stat and your Faith and Intelligence stats. So right now we technically don't have the ability to use our Sunset Staff. This is why we're not going to use it. And instead, we're just going to use the sword. Doesn't matter how high level you are. If you're cornered by multiple enemies, you are cornered by multiple enemies. So this might take a while. No, it shouldn't take a while. Oh crap. So yeah, this is behind Duff's workshop, and the bonfire to his workshop. An Estus Flash Shard and a large Titanite Shard. Alright. Looks like we aren't finding the pursuer. Oh well. That's certainly a loss. Not. Now to use our second fragrant branch of yore. Technically, we're not in Norman's Wharf. But it's closest to Norman's Wharf as far as distance goes. Ah, this guy. That guy is a late game enemy. Moved all the way up here in the Scholar of the First Edition. A Mammoth Guardian. Another Estus Flash Shard. And a hidden chest. Containing the Night Set. next in our Estus Flask Shard hunt is an Estus Flask Shard we missed pretty early into the game, actually. Got that Estus Flask Shard. Now, if you're wondering what this place is, this is where you can fight the Pursuer before you face him in his official boss fight. A little sneak peek at to what he can do to you. Alright. Now let's head back to Majula. Whatever.
Is that a shard you here to see? However...
Yeah. Oh. We're not gonna load up yet. All right. We just doubled the amount of Estus Flask shards. Well, sorry, the amount of Estus Flasks we had. Which I consider a significant benefit. Let's head back to the servants' quarters now. Yeah, I just can't. And goodbye. Twinkling Titanite. The Priest's Kime. And unless we have a Pharaoh's Lockstone, this is pretty much all there is to this area. So... let's go upgrade our... I think we can upgrade our staff again. Yeah, alright. Our dark damage goes up even higher.
Flee.
Alright, things are going well so far. Let's continue exploring the Lost Bastille. The Bastille Key. Okay. Oh, there you go. The Belfry Gargoyles. You didn't get to see them, but you certainly got to hear them. Yikes. Those are optional bosses that we need a Ferris Lockstone to encounter. Be very careful when you fight those, be very careful fighting those, bandage-wrapped hollows. They will explode on contact, and they will destroy your equipment and deal a ton of damage. Like that. Well, there's two variants of them, actually. One will just damage your equipment, the other will self-destruct and kill you. Another Twinkling Titanite. Yeah, this guy's all over the Lost Bastille. Bracing Knuckle Ring. Slows equipment degradation. Knuckle Ring worn by Rory the Explorer slows equipment degradation. What this means is that our weapons will lose less health, and we'll be able to wear them for longer. Which is definitely something really helpful for. Slowing the rate at which your equipment decays. So yeah. Oh, if only we had a fragrant branch of yore. We'll get to that when we get to that. Snares rise. We one-shot those guys. This is just with a +2 casting weapon. Oh, there they are. The Belfry Gargoyles. Because 30k souls is a lot to carry on a person. We're gonna go level up. Ooh.
There seems less.
Right. Now here's the goofy part. Snares Rise is literally still within the same area as the Lost Bastille, but it's no longer counted as the Lost Bastille. Salt Fort. So we're getting close to our first major breakpoint in the story. There's all that. Ooh. Okay. That was my fault. I should not have left that lone soldier alone. I should not have left him alone. A human effigy. Here is the Sun Sign of Lucatiel. This is the second boss fight coming up that you can summon her for. And yeah. Literally the entire reason I like to play with ranged characters in this version of the game is that guy. Okay. Northern Ritual Man and the Bleed Zone. unlock this door with the Bastille key. Ignore Soldier Boy over there because he will kill you and you'll just waste your time. Now go back topside. Now, don't rest at the bonfire. Just light your torch. We need the torch because it's... Oh, I'm missing an item. Hey, armor. Cool. Anyway, we need the torch for this upcoming boss fight because it'll make things much easier for us. Well, easier to manage, not easier to fight. So, light here. Summon Lucatiel. Alright. Alright. Alright then. Yeah. This is what the Bastille key is for, really. Ordinarily, to get the Bastille key, you'd have to defeat the Belfry Gargoyles. You don't need it to make this fight doable, but you do need it to give yourself more breathing room. So, the game originally set you up to fight a bonus boss in order to deal with a non-optional boss. The problem with that is that you still need to have an optional item to access an optional area. So while it's a neat idea, it does have its problems. Alright. Time to face the first of the sinners, the lost sinner herself. Yeah, ordinarily the boss room would be pitch dark, unless you lit those two sconces. Because now you can see her, and actually see the arena you're fighting in. Or, well, the point is that she makes the arena dark by swatting the flames out. Yo! Should have kept your eyes on me. Yo! 50k. And Lucatile survives another boss fight, just barely. Any more stalling and she would have died, and now that effort would have gone for naught. So yeah, that was the Lost Sinner. Let's read her soul. You'll notice that it's very different from the other souls we've collected. Like, these are generic NPC souls, and these yellow ones are boss souls, while these burning orange ones are the same type of soul the great souls have. These are a higher standard. These are the great souls we have to collect. Soul of the Lost Sinner, prisoner of Sinner's Rise. The Lost Sinner eternally punishes herself for the sins of her past. Now, here's the thing. The Lost Sinner is popularly thought to be the reincarnation of one of the bosses from from Dark Souls 1. But that's technically not the case, because what we originally thought was the boss of Dark Souls 1 was actually a completely different creature entirely. So, what the Lost Sinner actually is, if we're still going with the reincarnation theory, is the reincarnation of the one and only Old Witch, the woman responsible for creating demonkind in the first place. It's really hard to... There's no definitive proof. It becomes easy to prove on New Game Plus because she drops an additional soul on top of another copy of her Great Soul. We're gonna call them Lord Souls. That makes more sense. Her Lord Soul. A Frozen Residue and Elizabeth Mushroom. Good. Alright. Now, you have to light the bonfire here. Lighting a primal bonfire. You have to rekindle all 4 primal bonfires in order to unlock the way to Castle Drangleic. We just unlocked the first one.
You have acquired the soul of an old one. That is more than most undead can say.
Yeah. Okay, roll call. Now, if poor Moglin had survived, he would have been capable of selling the armor worn by that boss we just defeated. In fact, he eventually sells all the boss armors you can get in the game. You have to upgrade his stock in order for him to do that, though, but he will sell them all. Next, let's go check up on our cartographer friend.
Oh, hello again. You've made it. The map, I presume. Of course. Take a good look.
Yeah.
Even more flames have appeared. I don't know what causes it. Did you see the flame on the map? It wasn't there when I came here before. I don't know what explains it.
Right. So, whenever you light a primal bonfire, it will show up on this map. And when you light all the primal bonfires, and you light the way in the entirety of the map, you'll complete Chaos side quests, and you'll get his armor as a reward.
Oh. You do have a... Have you made friends with the man by the sea? He has lost everything. Absolutely everything. The only thing he's good for now is a few tidbits on covenants. Covenants are a type of, well, contract, you might say. You give something to gain something. That's the way humans like it, right? It might be just the thing you need. But what does a cat know?
Another thing Sweet Shao Quartz is gives you tidbits on NPCs you happen to run into in Majula.
Did you see that oddly formed rock behind here? Called it Victor Stone, as I recall. If you wish to face greater challenges, speak to the rock. Although, you'd just as well not.
She's talking about the champion of,
Nothing. Well, that...
Yeah, hold on a second. This. The Coven of Champions. The Coven of Champions. What it basically does is that it makes the game even harder than it already is. But the reward for that is that each enemy you kill has a chance to drop an Awe Stone. And when you turn in 50 Awe Stones, you get to the rank 3 of the Covenant. And you're enabled to get a very special object called the Victor Seal, which allows your fists to deal an insane amount of physical damage. Like, you can do like a... like, you can do a punching build with that type of thing.
Oh. You do... This place is all... This place is... We received... It's enough. Are you going to see the old one? Those four... They must... There. Yeah, we... Have you made friend? You... Did you... Long... Or... This place is all...
Alright.
This place is fascinating. Oh my...
Yeah.
Haste.
Yeah. Alright. Next place to visit. Huntsman's Copse. It's gonna be our old friend here.
The dark. This land lies closest to the dark. That is why I came here. This kingdom collapsed on the go.
Thing, but I don't.
All that are left are either undead
So,
or
you're kind of being.
say a few misfits.
Stop being a dick. Stop.
I went to a great school in the south, but neither sorcery nor pyromancy appealed. I learned nothing at all. It was there that I happened upon the dark. drew me in, the nebulous dark. Soon I was drawn to this land where dark runs deeper than anywhere else.
Right. So that's how Falcon came to be infatuated with hexes and the dark in general. Neither sorceries or pyromancy appealed to him.
No matter, the time will come.
Yeah. Small yellow bird. That is poison mist. Walk through it at your own discretion because you will conduct poison. At your own discretion. Yeah. So, again, I said this in the first video, but this place is where the network beta test for Dark Souls 2 took place. So it's pretty special to my heart. And here's a shortcut to the bonfire. Right. Is this like an infinitely spawning area? Okay. Just want to do some exploring. Whoa! Okay. Oh, you're a different enemy entirely. Oh, Christ. You completely caught me off guard, my dude. What is this? Can't open it. Oh well. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Huntsman's Copse. So if you're ever feeling low on torch, you can just farm this guy over and over again, and he'll give you plenty of torch. Hi, Madar. You finally made it. Here it comes. It starts with you. Ooh. Got it. You feel a little bored? Sorry you feel that way, but this is pretty much what the what playing Dark Souls tends to be like. It's not a whole lot. There's no party banner, and there's no background music to keep you engaged in the level design either. The challenge is all that's there. But yeah. Snipe that guy from the rooftop. Like, just going through the PvE, I can see why it wouldn't be someone's favorite thing in the world. If you want a challenge, climb a mountain. Alright. Soul Spear, which is a very powerful sorcery to have if you're going for a caster build that focuses exclusively on intelligence instead of hexes. In fact, you can actually farm Soul Spear after you beat this area, which is what I recommend you doing if you want to build up a powerful sorcerer, because that's by far the easiest way to make sure that you have a lot of powerful casts of a pretty decent spell under your hands. This guy's peculiar. I think he runs faster than the player character. I climbed a mountain with my family. Oh, hey! I didn't know you fan went mountain climbing. That's nice. This is locked. As you can see, there's a bonfire down there, so we are invested in getting to the bottom of it. Yeah, the trick here is that you have to kill a necromancer, otherwise the skeletons will keep respawning. It'll just make life harder for yourself. Magic mace, technique shard. Another thing you have to keep in mind is that there are petrification barrels in this cave now. And if you stay too close to them, you'll continue to get cursed. Again, cursed will keep lowering your HP stat. Oh. Yeah, that guy caught me by complete surprise. Will I play Mass Effect Andromeda? Okay, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's back up here. Will I play Mass Effect Andromeda? I will play Mass Effect Andromeda. In fact, I might start streaming Mass Effect Andromeda and Dark Souls 2 at the same time. Now to brought it up. The main reason I haven't is simply because it's been a good long time since I've actually played Andromeda. Not a long time, mind you. But it's just felt like a good while. Plus, I just want to take a break from open world RPGs that I can get lost in, like Skyrim and such. Whoa! Oh my god. No, Dark Souls isn't an RPG. It's definitely an RPG. I'm saying that it's not a sandbox RPG like Skyrim and Dragon Age Inquisition are. Andromeda is definitely another sandbox RPG, so... So, I just have to be careful there. You don't know the difference between a sandbox RPG and this game? Well, this game does not have sandbox elements. There's no big open world for you to just explore for exploration's sake. You're going through intricate, focused level design. That's a part of the difficulty itself. In this game, the level design has as much to do with the difficulty as the enemies you encounter and the bosses you fight. Whereas in a game like Skyrim, the level design is there for you to see the world's interactivity. Oh, I didn't know you weren't, like, into gaming. Okay, so... Alright. Yeah. And Estus Splash Jar for all that trouble. Okay, I didn't know you were just a casual gamer, Madar. In some ways, this makes this a little bit more difficult to talk about. But in other ways, this makes it easier. It really depends on the subject now. Because before... this could easily have been about anything. Locked. Crap. Let's see here. Bonfire. Alright. So I'll need to deal with Merciless Rinoa. Great. Come on. Come on. Okay, so you've played Wolfenstein, Dragon Age, Call of Duty, Fallout 4, Life is Strange, and Telltale Games. Alright. That was an NPC invader, like the Red Phantom you saw me fight when you first entered the stream. Undead Lockman key. All right. All right. Now I talk to this handsome man over here.
Who are you? I thought you were that bastard for a moment. You've set me free. Now I can find him. The cheeky prick. He won't know what hit him. I am Creighton of Mirror. I travel from land to hone my blade. I've heard this land was full of danger. I thought it would suit me perfectly. I joined forces with a man on the way. He was no more than a backstabbing knave. He took the first chance he had to try and off me. I decided to set a trap for him here. And then I got trapped myself. I can't believe that I was so dense. Thank the stars that you came along.
So you also used to play World of Warcraft, but you stopped because you were bored and you realized that there was no real end goal for the game. Yeah, that's the thing about massive multiplayer RPGs. They're more about how you interact with players and the ever and unending content. They're not meant to end. They're just meant to continuously hook the player with new content. It's not an RPG type that's driven by the story or even the gameplay having a cap. It just keeps going. And I can see someone getting bored of that. I keep trying to get into MMOs like RuneScape, which is free. And I might even try Star Wars The Old Republic one day. But MMOs so far don't really seem to be my jam. So I can see why you would get bored of one.
You be careful of him. Pate, I think he said. Where's this rather unusual ring? You know it when you see it. I've seen this type before. He kills entirely for the pleasure of it. I'm sure I won't be his last victim. The man's better off dead. Tell ya. He's a slick talker, so don't let him fool ya. Pate, the man with a strange ring. Watch out for the slimy rat. And don't you believe a word he says. I'll find a common footpad and put an end to his roguery.
Alright. The point of talking to Creighton so much, is, besides learning his backstory, is getting a gesture from him. Fist bump. Alright. Oh, where am I going? Carhillion's over here. You'll be bored if you play Dark Souls because from the other playthroughs you saw, there's no end goal to playing the game. Well, that's not true. All Dark Souls games, from Demons to Dark Souls 3, they have an ending. And the ending is you beat the final boss and you see the end credits play. Once you see the end credits play, you've beaten the game. That's all there is to it. What you're seeing from those other videos is one of two things. One are New Game Plus playthroughs. These games have New Game Pluses. There are optional challenges. You can keep playing the game as long as you want, and you can always just stop whenever you want. It's just an optional challenge, and there's no reason for you to keep playing it that way. The second one is localized player versus player tournaments, or PvP for short. It's what happens when other players who play these games go online and fight against each other. See, for them, the end game is having player versus player matches with each other as long as they want. Organizing a meta based on, like, weapons you use, armor you want to equip, spells that are useful against other human beings who know how spells work, stuff like that. That's the meta. So for some players of this game, of this franchise even, getting a character strong enough to participate in high-level player versus player combat is their end game. There's several different ways you can play this game. And it's so fun because of it.
Not visitors.
Yearn.
Young people, do not take my teachings lightly.
You don't see any reason to play for the endings? Well, you did admit you were as casual gamers, so I guess you wouldn't share the same feelings as a lot of people. But for a lot of people, the point of playing games like this is for the challenge. These games are... they're not hard games, but they're harder than most modern games. They're definitely harder than any Telltale game, let me tell you that. So people like to feel challenged when playing video games. That's why they also play at higher difficulties and stuff like that. But there's no difficulty slider for these games. So the reason these games got popular is because they were known for being an interesting challenge. Another reason people like to play these games is because the story, while present, is unobtrusive. There aren't any cutscenes to tell you how the characters feel, or necessarily to advance the plot. The plot is advanced by you exploring the world and defeating bosses and unlocking the next part of the game for you to travel into.
Young people, do not take my teachings lightly.
You like games and movies with good stories and characters. Okay, that's fair. That just means you like to play video games for their stories instead of their, like, gameplay. So the best type of games for you to play are ones that are heavily focused on story and character. So I can see why you get bored of watching me play a game like Dark Souls, where the point of the game isn't story and character, but challenge. See, that's the thing, Madar. You say that you like gameplay, but then you admit in the next sentence that the story is what's most important to you. So you're a story-based gamer first and foremost. There's no shame in being a story-based gamer. None whatsoever. Alright, next up, skeletons. We already established that you prefer story to be a focus in your video games, so I'm not really sure what focusing on. I mean, yeah, it's obvious that my character doesn't have a name or identity, or even a voice. Well, last one. A Lawrence skull. And there we go. Alright, so let's look at the Skeleton Lord soul. It's alright, Madar. I know what you're trying to say here. I don't have a problem with it bothering you if you don't like what the Dark Souls games have to offer. I don't have a problem with that. The whole point of this genre is that it's so versatile, it can have several different focuses, and not all of those focuses are going to appeal to everyone. So it's alright. I just thought that your last question there was a little redundant, that's all. Let's see. Soul of a skeleton lord who reigns from deep within the Huntsman's coast. The old Iron King commanded the capture of all undead, but those charged with the task were overcome by the curse. Yeah. So basically, these 3 skeleton lords tried to take over and rule, but they didn't have what it took. They're a lot haughtier. They're pretty haughty. That's okay. It was just like the talk, that's fine. Talking's good, especially since it gives me someone to talk to. These streams are more enjoyable when I can communicate with my audience. You can see that you can't climb the ladder from this position, so it's a point of no return. I have not seen Bright yet. I've heard about how bad it was.
Are you a traveller? I'm Chloanne, an ore-stone trader. I travel about collecting rare stones, which I sell to make my living. I never planned to visit this God's forsaken place. But I don't know. I just sort of ended up here. I must have just wandered in. But now that I'm here, I've been scouting around for rare bits. Oh, don't look at me like that. Many of these stones are quite useful. For instance, certain stones are used in smithing. Oh, now your ears prick up. I've extras if you can pay. This is my trade, after all.
Yeah, this is the type of character Dark Souls is more interested in for the sake of its world building. These are characters with their own lives who you get to meet in order to see how the world affects them. And in turn, you get to see what the Dark Souls setting does to the characters who live inside of it. That's how you get your story and your character.
I came here in search of rare stones, but the place is nothing like I was told. All this poison, and you can't get very far inside. Don't just go haplessly wandering about. These stones may look all the same, but to the trained eye, each is unique. Some of them are used to smith weapons and armor, and some unique stones provide special benefits. Some of them are extremely rare and should be used with great thrift. None of the differences are easily spotted, but I've learned quite a lot, really.
So Chloanne's giving you a hint as to what this entire area is about. Poison, water, poison mist, poison enemy attacks. That's the whole gimmick for this area.
Drang Lake. How is it that I ended up here? It's funny. I can't seem to remember.
I've searched every nook and cranny here. I suppose it's time to move on. Perhaps we'll meet again.
Yeah,
if we
sounds
live that
kind
long.
Yeah, cool. Whoa! Max Landis, the YouTuber, made Bright?
I suppose it's about time I'm...
And David Ayer was also behind Bright? Okay. Now it's starting to make sense to me why people dislike it so much. I never saw Suicide Squad either. I mean, at that point, it was fresh off of Batman vs. Superman for me, and I thought Batman vs. Superman was worse than Man of Steel, so I really just had no desire to go see a movie that was somehow worse than Batman vs. Superman. So I'm not surprised that Bright is that bad now. David Ayer, wow, okay. Max Landis, Jesus. Okay, so anyway, we talked to Chloanne enough times. She comes back here. We'll meet back up with her in a little bit. We need to get one last bonfire in the Lost Bastille. God. Well, I mean, if the sequel is a genuine improvement over the first Bright, I have nothing against it. But it needs vastly different people. Or at least people who actually know what they're doing. Aw. I heard Will Smith was like the only likable part of the Suicide Squad film, so I assumed he'd be okay in Bright. Fragrant branch of yore.
Still a bit stiff, I'm afraid. I must thank you, young traveler. I am Strayed, a wandering sorcerer of sorts. I've been a guest for a very long time, but I don't think that anybody will miss me.
But Will Smith is at his best when he plays himself.
Very good. Very good indeed. Cursed one, weak you may But I, Strayed, will teach you my spells.
Learn his Jester first. And right, you can unlock Strayed of Ophalis as soon as you get here, but you need a minimum requirement in both faith and intelligence in order to get him to talk to you. Just like with Carhelion of the Fold, except without the faith requirement. And what he'll do is sell you rings and spells. Hexes, mostly. Assassin's Creed, you mean? Strayed? Is that what AC stands for? Because if so, I do sort of agree. His black set is really cool looking. So let me buy a second copy of Dark Orb, which will be really useful. What he also sells is this, the Agape Ring. What the Agape Ring does is that when you wear it, it'll prevent your soul memory from increasing. Remember when we talked about player versus player in these games? Well, in Dark Souls 2, the higher your soul memory, the harder it is for you to have dedicated player versus player matches with people, because the soul memory range is how you're able to match up with certain people in the first place. But by wearing the Agape Ring, you can keep your soul memory from ever increasing past the amount you want, which means that it's easier for you to PvP with characters in Dark Souls 2 now. In the original game, this item didn't exist, so soul memory made PvP a bit of a mess. It was one of the most complained about mechanics in Dark Souls 2 around the time it was released. But nowadays, I think people are easier on Dark Souls 2's PvP, both because they realize that the actual mechanics behind PvP are pretty good, and because the Agape Ring exists to make PvP less of a hassle. The Hood of the Forlorn. You can only unlock the Forlorn armor set by defeating the Forlorn Red Phantom invaders that invade you around Drang Lake. We killed one, so we unlocked the Hood. Let's see the lore here. Hood of the Forlorn, who will wander the land of the undead. Born of Aldea's obsession with the first sin, the Forlorn lost both their corporeal form and a world to call their own. Now they drifted to other worlds, even ever in search of a home. But without self, one has neither beginning nor end, and so the Forlorn have only to wander. See, that references the fact that they'll just keep showing up around the world the second you start killing them, and you have to keep defeating them if you want their entire armor set. And yeah, the Forlorn, I think, were also added to the Scholar First Sin Edition, because they directly referenced Aldea, who himself finally makes a physical appearance again in this version of the game. Now, as for Strayed's main function, the boss souls you collect throughout the game can be traded with him in order to, you know, become items, weapons, or magic spells for you to use. Well, I don't know a thing about Max Landis, aside from his Mary Sue rants, which I'm not going to talk about any further. But, I pretty much agree with you on David Ayer, because I can't remember anything else I've heard about him being in that apparently was in any way good. So yeah. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to trade in the Skeleton Lord's soul to get the Roaring Halberd. And we're going to trade in the Dragon Rider soul to get the Dragon Rider bow. The guy you're talking about has rainbow hair. Do you remember the name?
How long was I sat petrified? Long enough for the old kingdom to have crumbled, I see. Why didn't anyone wake me sooner?
So yeah, Strayed is older than Drangleic when it was in its prime. So he basically was petrified for the entirety of Drangleic's golden era, and we just woke him up after the kingdom had basically decayed into what we see here. Absolute nothing. So he's old, dude. Max has rainbow hair. Max who? Where's this Max from?
Drangleic. I've never heard the name. Is that what they call this place now? Very good. Very good indeed.
Yeah.
Feeble, cursed one. Do you really think you can manage the glories that a mice spells?
Okay, so just so I get this right. You think Straith of Ophis, who I was talking about when you referenced the guy looking like AC, looks like Max Landis. Am I getting this correctly? Because he's wearing a mask, so I can't understand why you think he has rainbow hair. I think there's just a bit of a miscommunication going on. Let me burn the sublime bone dust. Okay, so Max Landis has rainbow hair, not the AC guy you were talking about.
Is that a shard you found? Here, to see, however...
Yeah. And we upgrade the number of Estus flasks we have as well. That makes 4 in one video. Why do YouTubers have color-coded hair? The only other person that comes to mind that has color-coded hair is Markiplier. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. PewDiePie and Jack also have colored hair. I forgot about PewDiePie having mixed hair. But then I don't really care to pay much attention to PewDiePie, so... dark weapon.
Come again? The dark again.
Oh boy. Tune spells. Get rid of Yearn for now. Alright, dark weapon. Alright, here's the thing about halberd weapons. Here's the reason halberd weapons are so difficult to use. They have a sweet spot meter where if you strike with the blade, they'll do the maximum amount of damage. But if you hit an enemy with the blunt side of the weapon without the blade, this spear thing is called a halberd. It's called the Roaring Halberd. It's a boss weapon. I just traded it in. You know, I got it from Strayed. I just got this from Strayed. And I was explaining sweet spot damage with halberd weapons. Yeah. Like right there, I hit the sweet spot, so I got the maximum damage. It does look like a guitar. Bird dead. I have no idea what you're trying to say there. Okay. Dragon Rider bow can't do its maximum amount of damage because of my can't do the maximum amount of damage it can do. Alright. Oh, you're trying to make a Dakar sound. Okay, sorry. That's my fault. I just misunderstood your intention there. Alright, that's gonna be it for today. I kind of want to spread out the amount of areas we do relative to the amount of things you can get done. And I just feel like we did enough today. We took care of an old one. We got a Great Soul. And we killed the Skeleton Riders, and we got a couple of boss weapons for it. We're not capable of using those boss weapons to their full potential yet, but we'll eventually get there. In the next video, we're going to explore the Poisonous Lands, and we're going to talk to Stone Trader Cloran a bit more, just to get more of her lore out the picture. If you liked today's video, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow around this exact same time. Take care and have a good day.